Hey, sweetie. Welcome back to Todd Family Farm. Good morning, everybody. We are starting off the morning over here at the barn doing chores, checking on this little lamb. So if you watched the last video, yesterday Dad came over to do afternoon chores and Sweet Pea had a lamb. Sweet Pea is one of my youngest ewes, so I didn't know how well she'd do. Last year she did have a lamb, but she just didn't like it at all. So we had to have it as a bottle lamb. If they don't claim their lamb the first year, we keep them another year and give them another chance, because it always amazes me how on their first year they can like hate their lamb and not know how to take care of it at all, and then the next year they will be like the best mamas ever. So Sweet Pea, last year she didn't like her lamb. This year she claimed it, she likes it, and yesterday we got it set up with a heat lamp, and then we gave it some colostrum. It's like a little tube of concentrated colostrum. And then we were still kind of concerned about it because last night it got down to like 15 below, and that's just so cold when a lamb is that young. It's really hard for them to stay warm in that. But I'm over here this morning. It was just nestled up under the heat lamp and it's still alive and doing well. I'm thrilled with this lamb and how well Sweet Pea is doing with it this year. So here she is. Hey, baby. Okay, let's do chores. I'm gonna get Sweet Pea some grain. There's Debbie and her lamb. Debbie's lamb is doing so good, getting so big. Hi, Debbie. So. There you go. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. We've had 2 out of 7 ewes lamb so far, and the rest of these could lamb anytime, really, so just waiting. There you go. Hi, Poppy. Emma's distracting them. Hey, baby. Hi, Sweet Pea. How are y'all? Hey, girls. Sally. Oh, my. You got one. Yeah, let's get you warmed up, huh? Alright, let me just jump into the video real quick to explain a little bit better, and that clip that you guys are going to see here, I didn't really have time to explain because I was trying to hurry up and get stuff done. So what happened was I went in there and I found that Sally had a lamb, and she had twins actually, but one of them was dead when I found it. It was frozen and it just did not make it, and the other one was very, very cold. It had been dried off, but it was just curled up and really cold and not doing very well. So I tried to get that warmed up as quickly as I could. I tried to put it under a heat lamp, but it was just already so cold that wasn't really doing much for it. So what I did is I brought the lamb home and we got it in a little box with a heater. We gave it some colostrum, and then we just let it warm up for a while. So after it warmed up, it started doing a lot better. It wasn't in terrible shape, but it was definitely starting to go downhill, and so we went ahead and brought it home to get it taken care of. So after it warmed up, we gave it some warm milk, and he was doing a lot better by that evening. So we decided to go ahead and take him back over to the barn, and we put him back with Sally, and she still claimed it, and she loved that lamb, and she was very excited to have her lamb back. So they were doing really, really well, so we just left him over there, and he's been doing really well ever since. So that lamb got put back with Sally, and they've both been doing really well. And now we move on to the not fun part of the video, the footage that is not really enjoyable to watch, or that I enjoy showing you guys, because I like to show y'all the happy stuff and the, you know, when the lambs are healthy and when things go right. That's what's fun to make videos of. But there are the bad days too, where it seems like everything goes wrong, and it doesn't matter what you do, things just will not go right. And honestly, this day that y'all are gonna see was one of those days. This started on Monday, I believe, when I noticed that Rosie was acting a little bit off. She was not eating like she normally would. She wasn't like really fighting for the food like she normally would, and she was just kind of a little bit calmer and acted like she might be going into labor soon. She wasn't showing any signs of actually being close to lambing, other than that she was acting a little bit off, and she was still up and moving around and everything. But I decided, just to be safe, I'd go ahead and pin her off in her own pen, and that way whenever she does lamb, she'll already be sectioned off. So we got her put into her own pen, and then on Tuesday morning we went over there, still nothing. She wasn't even like looking very close to lambing. She wasn't swollen up, and there was nothing, no discharge or anything like that. It was really just she was acting off. So we left her that morning. She was still doing fine. Dad went over there probably around noon, and she was laying down in labor. She was pushing. She wasn't very swollen up that looked like she was ready to give birth, but she was really pushing. She just was not making any progress, which is not a good sign. So we gave her a little while to see if she could make any progress on her own, and then we went over there and we started to assist her. So once we got over there, she was still pushing and in labor, and so we started to try and help her, and we didn't know what to expect, if this was going to be she just needed some help, or if it was going to be something much worse. We kind of had a bad feeling that the way she was pushing over there and not making any progress, something was wrong. So Dad started to help her. He had to break the water sac. A bunch of amniotic fluid came out. It was just so thick that it was actually pretty tough for Dad to rip it open, because it was so thick, which it should not normally be that way. And then we started to pull the lambs out, and both of the lambs were dead inside of her. I think they were both backwards, and then the one was like, the first one coming out was like backwards with its neck tucked back around. So it was honestly about the worst case scenario. And both lambs were dead. We started to pull them out, and they were rotting inside of her. So the lambs came out in pieces, and we pulled the lambs out piece by piece. I have it all on video. I'm not showing you guys all of that video, because it's just, I would probably get demonetized if I put that on YouTube, and also it's not fun to see, and I don't think you guys want to see it. So I edited out most of that, but just to give you guys an idea, it was not fun. We sat over there, Dad and I were over there, and we pulled out the lambs in pieces, and she had twins. They were both dead. As soon as we realized both lambs were dead, it was just moved on to hoping that Rosie would stay alive. So after we finally got all of the lambs, both lambs out of her, they were rotting and falling apart. It was just really not a fun situation, and we finally got both lambs out of her. It was a hard pull. The lambs were not in position to come out, or anything, so there was something off. They were still pretty far back in her. They were dead and swollen and rotten, so it was definitely not a fun experience. But we eventually got both lambs out of her, and then we tried to stand Rosie up. She did stand up. She was still, for what she had just been through, she was doing okay. So then we went home and we got a few things to help take care of her. We dissolved some sugar in some water and made like a syrup. It's just really sugary to give that to her and give her some energy to help her just stay alive. And then we gave her a shot of penicillin and a sulfur bolus, I think that's what it's called. That is an antibiotic to help with infection as well. We did our best to make sure that she had every chance to stay alive that we could possibly give her, and then we just left her to see what would happen. And when we went over the next morning, she had died during the night. She did not make it. I don't know, just the stress of it and infection and just the whole situation was just too much. And also the pulling the lambs out, it was a really hard pull. They were not in position to come out, and I'm not sure if there's something going on internally, but it was not an easy pull. So I'm not sure if something was messed up internally for her as well. But either way, she did not make it through the night, and honestly, this whole thing was just like a worst case scenario. We lost both lambs and a ewe, and it's really, I don't think a lambing experience can get a whole lot worse than that. So there are definitely times in lambing where things just go wrong, and thankfully we've had a lot of healthy lambs this year, but there are also the days when it just does not go right. And as it's much more enjoyable for me to share with you guys the fun times and the healthy lambings and all of that, but this is part of farming too, and you don't get to have the fun times with the lambs running around and things going perfectly without taking these kinds of days as well, when everything just goes wrong and you lose animals and it's just all around not fun. So that is what happened with that. We were all very sad about it, but you know, that is part of farming. So thank you guys for coming along with us. I really appreciate all of you just following along, and y'all are so supportive and encouraging, and I do enjoy sharing this with you, even the hard days, as maybe it's not as fun to share those, but I do appreciate being able to share this with you as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and for all of your support. It truly means a lot. So we will see you next time.